Oh, and we now call cause number 23 CR 1233, the state of Texas versus Randy James Johnson. Are you Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir.
You're here with Ms. Manati, your attorney, and the state's attorney. There's a motion to revoke probation that was filed on March 12th, where you were placed on probation March 27th a year ago,
Yes, sir.
it looks like. And it alleges that you were placed on 5 years deferred or unadjudicated probation for theft, which is all fixable, except you're not fixing it correctly here. It states you committed the offense of operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated back on July 4th of last year. You know, it's our Independence Day, but you can't go commit crimes. You know, you're supposed to celebrate independence and freedom, not commit crimes in which are mistakes. You failed to report to the probation office, it states, on February 11th of 2025. You failed to provide verification of performing community service hours as required. You were at a location other than your residence at 10:21 p.m. You must have a curfew. That was on July 4th. Everybody has curfews here, and let's see. Yours was be inside your home every day between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And this size says at 21 minutes after you should have been at home, you're somewhere else, getting in trouble for a DWI. Failed to provide verification of completing the theft prevention class, which is very important. And you were in arrears with court appointed fees and other costs. And restitution is owed in the amount of $1,500. And that's very important. Paying people back for the harm. That has to get done. You won't get off probation until that's done. So there's 6 grounds there. What are we going to do today?
Originally, we were here today to request a bond be set for him since he was on deferred adjudication probation. However, after talking with my client, Mr. Johnson, he has expressed to me that he wishes to accept responsibility for his probation violations and plead true to number one. And then with the hope that he be able to go back to his job, his probation would be reinstated with other probation conditions that would allow him to be successful and out of jail so that he can repay that restitution.
What's that say?
Your
I don't
Honor.
have an agreement, right?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
If the court were to continue him on probation, we just ask that he be, I guess, required to take some classes dealing with, and maybe the treatment dealing as far as alcohol or drugs, get testing for that. And
he has expressed his desire to be in AA and have a sponsor who's active in his life so that he can have some.
Nothing's stopping you to do that, but we're going to order it nonetheless, which means if you fail, it's your fault. It can violate your probation and then your probation can be revoked. Okay. All right. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any statements you make during this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Lower your hand. All right. This states in summary that on March 27th of 2024, you were placed on 5 years deferred or unadjudicated probations for the state jail felony of theft. Is that true, sir?
Yes, sir.
Allegation one states you committed the offense of operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated on or about July 4th of last year, 2024 in Jefferson County, Texas, which is in violation of condition 1 of your probation order. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading truth voluntarily and because it is truth?
Yes, sir.
You understand? A voluntary and knowingly made plea of truth to one or more violations of probation, that is enough to grant the motion to revoke probation. Your probation could be revoked and you can now be found guilty and sentenced up to 2 years in the state jail for this. Knowing that, do you insist on pleading true today?
Yes.
I find you pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true. I don't have an agreement, but for me, but
That's right.
um, uh, anything else to add?
No, sir.
I'm going to follow this recommendation, okay? And I'm going to find that there is sufficient evidence supporting this motion to revoke probation to grant it by a preponderance of the evidence or greater, as allegation number 1 is true, proven true by your voluntary and knowingly plea of true to operating a motor vehicle in a public place while intoxicated on July 4th, 2024 in Jefferson County, Texas. I'm not going to revoke your probation. I'm going to give you another chance, but this will be held over your head. We will keep this motion in suspense, and you will continue on your probation. If you fail to follow the terms and conditions of probation, your probation, we could bring you back before the court, pick up where we left off, and it's real simple. This is how far you are from going to a state jail. All right. Your probation is now revoked. This motion is granted. You were hereby sentenced to confinement in the state jail for up to 2 years. Bye. That's it. It's all in your hands. Do well. 92%, 92% of everybody on probation is successful. That's a great record. Yeah, that's a great record. That's 11 out of 12. You need to be the one in that 11, not in the 1. You will also, I will add an order stating you must complete a DWI education program as directed. That helps you. That ought to also lower probably your insurance costs for driving. If you have insurance coverage, you got to have insurance coverage when you drive a car. Somebody has to have it. And that will help with a less expensive insurance, which we all have to have and we all pay for. Anyway, I don't want to see failure, Mr. Johnson. You can do it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge, when do you want to see him back?
Oh, in 3 months. So we're going to check on you and see how you're doing, but fix this. Now, there's restitution owed. And on cases like this, you can get your probation terminated in a third. So you're on probation for 5 years. You've already been on probation over a year. So it's, you only really need, you could get early reduction of probation in a few months. But I don't give probation. I won't release your probation if you're doing fine. Also, you have to pay restitution. That has to be done. The person who was, the people, the entity that was damaged, who was damaged, need to get their money back. That's how you fix it. You're able to fix it. You did something that cost somebody, you got to give them the money back. Now, if you broke their arm, you can't unbreak an arm. And that's terrible. But if it's money, you can give them the money back. Then that fixes it. Do you understand what is the recipe for finishing this early?
Yes.
Am I giving you enough hints?
Yes.
You know where the goal line is. Go for it. Okay. Just don't run out of bounds. Don't fumble the ball. If we're going to talk metaphorically, but there it is. It's right there in your grasp. Don't let it escape. Don't let it end up you being resulting in going to prison for something like this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else on this?
No.
Yes, sir.
All right. We are in recess on this case on Mr. Johnson. Shane Myers. 2 cases. Shane Myers? Yes, sir. That's you, sir. All right. There's 2, Shane Allen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 2 cases here. 22-41063. And this is a case that you're on probation for. And there's a first amended motion to revoke probation that was filed about 2 weeks ago, it looks like. And then there's a new case that is there an indictment yet?
Yes, Judge, there is.
There is on the
Don't have
25 DCCR 0531. That one is indicted. There's also
it is affirmatively.
that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't have a copy of the indictment in the file, but I'm sure it's working its way through. When was he indicted? Does it show? This was must be recently.
In the January.
So on May the 7th, there's also
Makes sense.
yes, sir. There's also two cases that have not been indicted.
Oh, we've got some prior convictions here, don't we?
Yes, Your Honor. There's that would make it 2 to 10 on that one. Third
Yeah,
degree.
third
Yes, sir.
degree punishment.
And then there's also two cases from March the 29th of 2025 that have not been indicted yet that he was arrested on, which were tampering with evidence,
What degree?
third degree felony on that it should be, and then the possession of a controlled substance, a state jail felony, and with the priors he has here would make it a third degree punishment.
What was the drug?
I'm not certain. It just shows he was arrested on that. We don't have the case on that
Here.
one yet.
Okay.
Methamphetamines.
Okay.
And Your Honor, in this one, he owes, I think, roughly, I think $40,000 in restitution for the.
Unauthorized use of motor vehicle.
What is the wreck? Do they call it wreck out or something?
No, it was shipped back to Texas, and you looked at my detainer, Ellie Jordan, and you the one in Florida. The restitution last time I got sentenced for a pay period, probation, you said it was excessive or something, and that you were going to look into it. And when I reported to Mr. Barksdale, it came back 40 grand.
I think she had to have it shipped
was it
back a
before?
vehicle.
What was it originally?
Grand Theft Auto,
No. What was the loss you thought was originally?
maybe like $5 grand. The
Oh.
records fee was $5,000. Any damages, maybe another five.
Well,
There was like a dent in the bumper.
there's
There were costs that she incurred getting the car back here because it was recovered in
It
Florida.
was 5,000 the fee.
well, whatever those costs are,
I put a lien on it, sort of.
whatever the costs are. I mean, it's going to be numbers, which is hard science. I mean, it's going to be whatever it is, and then it would be whether people object that wasn't necessary or that cost was not accurately done, but you got to pay for the loss, which means if something was in another jurisdiction to get it back here to the people, it's got to cost somebody something. It's not going to drive over by itself. So, and when it's money lost, that's how you fix things. You got to pay them back. And
Especially loss of that magnitude, Judge. If it actually is 40,000.
yeah, and that's why we have hearings over it. But what we have before me right now is in 22-41063 is a First Amendment motion to revoke probation, which states in summary that on February 26th of last year, 2024, you were sentenced to 10 years in prison in this court, and then that was suspended. You were placed on regular probation for 10 years for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, which was a state jail felony, but it was bumped up because of prior convictions. The punishment, it's a state jail felony, substantive, but it was the punishment range goes up as though it were a third degree felony because of those prior 2009 and 2014 convictions of state jail felonies. So that's why you were punished as though it were a third degree felony. So it alleges you, among other things, that you committed the offense of failing to identify, giving false information January 20th, 2025 in Hardin County, Texas, but I've got something that shows 25 CR 531 fraud, use, possession of ID, false ID or something. And oh, that must be allegation number 6.
That's
Yeah.
correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Anyway, number 2 is illegal possession of methamphetamine, in Hardin County, Texas. 3, failing to report to the probation office on or about October, November, and December of 2024. Were you in Hardin County Jail? Were you in custody?
No, they took me to Baptist Hospital and put me in pen.
But I mean, but were you a free man in October, November, and December of 2024?
After I got abandoned, yes.
Okay, then they released you?
Mhm.
And okay. It says you didn't report like you were supposed to in those 3 months.
Yeah, I notified my probation officer that I was having like home issues or whatever, and that I
You have to report in person
was
unless they.
abandoned. Yes, sir.
And then point number 4, failing to immediately report to the probation office your arrest on January 20th of this year. Failing to pay restitution. 6, in the first amended, you must have had an original motion to revoke probation, and now it has been superseded with this first amended one filed a couple of weeks ago, which adds failing probation by committing the offense of fraud, illegal possession, or use of identifying information. And on March 29th, and also on that day of this year in Jefferson County, Texas, tampering or fabricating with physical evidence. So there's 7 different violations there that are alleged. We understand what they're charging. The result, of course, is if proven true by a preponderance of the evidence or greater, your probation could be revoked and you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison. Knowing that, do you understand the seriousness of all of this? All right, deal with it responsibly. You're nodding your head. And then there's some new cases that are coming down.
That's correct.
Obviously, with new cases, we have to figure out what they are so that you know where your problem is. Then you work with your attorney to try to sort it out and to see what's in your best interest. But this, you don't have a jury trial for a motion to revoke probation. It's in front of me.
Yes, sir.
And you're looking at up to 10 years for that. Also, when it comes to losses, victims are important to me. Fixed. That's how you fix the problem. You pay them back. Sometimes it's a lot of money. It's not going to get done overnight. You got to have a plan, and you got to convince me that the plan is workable. Because this is alleging that you've already failed for 6 different reasons your probation. Why can I trust you to stay on probation is what you're going to be working with your attorney on in the issue before you. And also whatever these new cases are. Was anybody injured in any of this?
No, Your Honor, there's no restitution on the new case itself. There was no restitution on right.
Well, that's good news. In spite of all this bleak, this sounds fixable if you navigate through the minefield just right. She's your guide. I would advise you to follow advice, but make sure you're forthright with her. It's y'all's information. You don't have she didn't have to share anything with anybody.
Yes, sir.
You got to be free to speak frankly with her so that she can help you. Worst thing I see is when we get up here and the attorney who is oblivious to something that was very important that the defendant never told. You can trust. She didn't, everything is confidential. That's the way the law works. So you can be forthright. That's why there's no excuse for not telling her everything so she can make a wise choice in her advice for you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
How much time before 3 weeks? You think 3 weeks good? Y'all can figure it out?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Think about it.
Yes, sir. I think we can
where
dispose of it and reject the other. I think there's only one more actually that's going to come out
Do
of
you see what he's, do you sense what he's talking about?
Yes, and I will get.
I would say take advantage of this light at the end of the tunnel. Go
Yes.
to it
Yes, Judge.
if you can. And it's up to me, but I'm pretty much agreeable if everybody else can. But I've got to be convinced, sir, that you're not going to defraud me and trick me. You've
Yes, sir.
got to live honestly, and you've got to fix these victims, put them back to where they were whole, and you got to have a plan and implement it. Okay, that's the way you fix these things. in this type of case.
Yes, sir.
But don't grab for my wallet or anybody else's. Live honestly. Harm no one. Give each person respect. All law fits. All law fits one, two, or all three of those. We have all these laws and all these books, and we can make three. I can make it in one sentence. Just what I did.
You're right.
So
100%.
it's not like you're confused. You can be confused. We made it simple. Anything else on this? Anything else?
No, Judge.
Okay, then we're in recess.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other cases?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And we're in recess. And by the way, probation office is here, and we are in this county. We're very proud. We have a 92% success rate for probation.
Yeah, I would like to.
92%. The national average is 75-ish. We're at 92.
That's good.
Well, you want to be part of that, or
I'll
no?
go back to prison.
Or do you want to be the 8% that end up failing? No, of course. Well, it's
There
right
is-
there. Fix it.
Judge, there is an offer that Mr. Boyd had just relayed to me. If I could have a moment to speak with my client, that might be something that we could potentially do today or next week.
Oh, let me know.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Okay, I'm just going to put this on mute.